What's going on, Tamers? Welcome back to another TBL Meta Snapshot, Season 3, Week 7. Shout out to Varney for providing us this beautiful spread here on our website. We had 10 players, 10 decks, perfect amount of variety, 4 different rounds, and our top 4. Coach with Dor-goramon going 2-2, respectable, I like it. We had Mythos playing 7 Great Demon Lords, Leppy playing Journey to the West, which I'm sure there's some Gokumon in there. There's got to be, right? And then our first place winner was Shady Waters with Blue Flare. Now, side note, Blue Flare is admittedly the deck in the Digimon card game that I hate the most. During my Nationals run, probably, 2 years ago now, I played against a lot of Blue Flare in not only like the locals and stuff leading up to it, but I did play a couple at Nationals, and I hated that matchup. It was annoying. It was like, I felt like they were just too good, and they had way too many tools and way too many advantages. So this will forever be one of those decks that just brings me PTSD. So I hate Blue Flare. Is that petty? Probably, but I am probably the most petty human being on the face of the earth. So, let me know in the comments down below how you feel about Blue Flare, if it's given you the same ick that it has given me over the course of time. But yeah, it's pretty good turnout, but also a lot of variety here. If you could see here in the breakdown, outside of our top 4, we still had a good amount of variety with Gabubond, Alliance, Numemon, Imperial, Galaxy Engine, which I'm not sure what that is. I wonder if that's like a Grace Nova or something related with the Tamers. Not sure, but this is what I like to see. You know, still even into a new format, going into EX6 now. There's still a good variety, and we have some new cards that we're gonna have to talk about, so we're gonna dive right into it. But before that, I want to just take a quick look at our standings for the TBL. So as you can see here, since the last time we checked on it, there have been some changes. Leppy has jumped into 2nd place, tying him with Walter. Michael's still at the top, and we have Moral Atheist at our 4th spot, but Coach is sneaking in there. So because of the way the structure is with the point system, you guys can rack up those points, and if you're close to cracking the top 4 or whatever it is, as long as you participate and you rack up those points, you'll be able to make a splash in the ranking. So, you know, if you ever have nothing to do on a Friday night and you feel like joining the TBL, check all the information in the Discord, so you can take advantage of it. We really do appreciate the support from the community. We really do appreciate the organic growth that we've been having. And obviously, we love being able to give you guys somewhere to play, right? I know Varney's been doing a lot with his 3D printing, and we try to provide prizing and stuff for you guys. So we appreciate you supporting us. Therefore, we want to give back. So I say that without ever participating in a TBL myself, but I do promise it is coming at some point. It's just summers are very busy. So with that being said, shout out to all the players who have participated this season. I wanted to get into the deck profiles because we do have some spicy things that I'd like to go over. So let's go and check that out. So the first deck we're going to go over is Coach's Dor-goramon deck, our 4th place finish, which is my pick of the week. Why is this my pick of the week? Simply because of this card. This card here, not only is the artwork really cool, but I really love this collision keyword. I think it's very interesting. During this Digimon's attack, all of your opponent's Digimon gain blocker, and your opponent blocks if able. So forcing your opponent to block is super interesting in my opinion. Also, when digivolving, if a Tamer card with SOC trait is in the sources, you can delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon or Tamers, and then all turns when another Digimon is deleted, you can unsuspend this Digimon. So you can get 2 potential swings out of it. I really like this card. I like the collision keyword. It's like another way of board control. And it's interesting because a lot of the time in the Digimon card game, because outside of Raid, before collision obviously, it was really difficult to interact with unsuspended Digimon in combat. Now collision gives you that opportunity, and your opponent really can't hide behind the pseudo protection of having an unsuspended Digimon while battling. So I really do I think that is very interesting to me, and it's something that I definitely want to experiment with. I definitely want to play with down the line. Obviously, in BT16 format, I'm focusing more on Imperial Dramon, and I've had a lot of fun playing that deck. But once I start getting a little stale with it, I'll probably branch out, and this will be one of the first things I touch upon. Coach has always been a big fan of Dor-goramon, so I'm glad he actually gets to play a deck where it makes sense instead of just teching in one Dor-goramon in all his decks just to have the his buddy in there. But this is obviously something that he could play. So as far as eggs are concerned, this is the old Dor-goramon from BT7. When you tuck a source, draw a card. Really good for X antibody or any type of Alphamon strategy. This is technically an Alphamon line, but also the branch evolution into Dor-goramon is definitely a thing too. It's just nice to see the flexibility that this archetype kind of has now. You can build it two different ways. I like this new egg a lot. I almost would want to maybe prioritize this egg over the BT7 just because of the memory gain. So when another Digimon with blocker is deleted, gain a memory, and that's all turns. So if your blocker is deleted and you have a stack, you gain a memory. If you delete a blocker stack on your opponent's turn, or on your turn rather, with blocker, you gain a memory. So I feel like that memory gain could be a little more detrimental because this is not an Alphamon strategy that just gains memory because of its X antibody shenanigans and also Oriyamon shenanigans. I feel like memory gain just in the vacuum that is a Digimon card game might be more important of a skill than drawing a card, but also drawing a card is very important when playing a combo deck and you need to see pieces. So I guess it's 6 in one, half a dozen in the other, right? Whatever the preference is what you're gonna play. I might have just dated myself with that statement, but neither here nor there, right? Solid rookie lineup. This is the Dor-goramon from BT9 where it's on play, trash one, draw two. Really nice. And our new Dor-goramon gives you the inheritable of all turns plus 1000 DP, which is nice. Digivolves over Dor-goramon for 0, and then start of main by placing one Kosuke from your hand as this bottom Digivolution card. Until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't leave the battle area other than by deletion. So no bounce and no tucking or anything like that, so it gets around like a Rester Dramon and all that stuff. And of course Ukamon, everybody's favorite nemesis. So yeah, I mean, I like seeing some of the Dex Dor-goru stuff, which is really interesting to me. You are playing an X antibody strategy with Protoform and stuff like that, but you're not obviously leaning in heavily to the cool boys. But these cards are still really good, especially because they Digivolve for free essentially, right? This one is 1, but I think Dex Dor-goramon is 0, yeah. When Digivolving, trash one card with Dex or Death X in its name or X antibody and trait to gain a memory. So free Digivolution, netting a memory is awesome. And then when Digivolving, if this Digimon has Dor-goramon in its sources, or is Digivolving from the trash, one of your Digimon gains a blocker and retaliation till the end of your opponent's turn. So it just goes hand in hand. Retaliation and blocker is a really good 2 keywords to have because they're going to trigger some of your other things. Tyrannomon, obviously top 4 for a Tamer with SOC and a Digimon with SOC, which is most of these new guys. The old Dor-goramon security +1 is nice. Obviously, security +1 is always a great keyword. This Dor-goramon to me is some serious heat. Digivolve over a level 4 Dor-goramon in name or SOC trait for cost of 3, which is nice. Collision, great. We already love that keyword. But then all turns, when an attack target is switched, blocker, raid, stuff like that, this Digimon with an SOC trait Tamer card in its sources can Digivolve into a Digimon card with Beast Dragon, Undead, or SOC trait in the hand without paying the cost. This is huge because essentially what you do now with this is you just climb up into Doru Gray, swing. As long as you have a Tamer tucked underneath as a source, you immediately Digivolve into Dor-goramon mid-combat, and then Dor-goramon's abilities are going to trigger. So obviously we saw when Digivolving, if you have a Tamer card with SOC in the source, delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon or Tamers. And then when you delete a Tamer, Digimon unsuspend. So mid-combat, you climb up into your Mega, you pop something, unsuspend, while the attack has already been, committed. Therefore, attack will resolve with Dor-goramon unsuspended. The inheritable is all turns once per turn. When this Digimon deletes another Digimon, you may play one card with X antibody or SOC trait and a play cost 5 or less from your trash without paying the cost. So a lot of things are happening mid-combat, which I really like, because combat tricks are always fun. Swing, Digivolve, pop, unsuspend, trigger inheritable. So you play a Tamer or you play a champion, essentially. One of your Tyrannomons here. You can even go into your Dor-goramon and just climb up again if you have it. Obviously, you have to worry about summoning sickness and all that, but I just really think it's really cool when you have combat tricks that involve your stack. I think that's awesome. And then to round it off, it's nice to have Death Exmon in any deck, but it's also nice to have Death Exmon in a deck that is natural Digivolution. I mean, most of the time you're going to slam this guy on the table for its play cost and just hard cast it. But if you wanted to Digivolve, you could, right? I mean, there's nothing stopping you from Digivolving. This isn't grabbable with anything because it's not undead or anything like that. But I really do like the fact that this Dor-goramon gives you the flexibility of Beast Dragon, which obviously we have the original Dor-goramon from BT6. Is this BT6? BT7, Beast Dragon, X Antibody, right? So you can grab him. But I'm a big fan of the Grand Drakmon stuff. So this also goes hand in hand with that version or that undead stuff that you have over there. So there's probably some shenanigans that you can, play with. So yeah, I really do like this. I'm definitely going to try something along this line here just because I love this Dor-goramon. Shout out to my friend too, Enrique. He lives in Jersey where I used to live. He has kind of delved a little bit into the Digimon card game. And I think this is one of the decks that he was really interested in. So if you're watching, play this profile, or the list rather. But yeah, shout out to Coach for top 4. And let's get into the next profile. So our third place was 7 Great Demon Lords, which is essentially from EX6, so this is brand new. There's a lot of new things here. Your egg is over here. Obviously, the way Digimon Dev organizes when you sort is different. But this is essentially Royal Knights, but like the evil side. Like this is the evil counterparts of Royal Knights, because this Gate of Deadly Sins is essentially Yggdrasil or King Drazel, whatever you want to call him. At the start of your breeding phase, you hatch another egg and tuck it underneath him, and then he basically reduces your 7 Great Demon Lord play cost, which is essentially what Royal Knights does, right? And then your big boss monster off of your Demon Lords is your Dor-goramon here, which this card is disgusting. When Digivolving, when attacking, you may place up to 7 Great Demon Lords. Up to 7 Great Demon Lords with traits, traded cards with different names. This is so much text. From your trash as the Digimon bottom Digivolution. If 4 or more were placed, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Okay, boom. And then when attacking, obviously another one attacking here, by returning 7 of the 7 Great Demon Lords with different names from this Digimon Digivolution to the bottom of the deck, you can delete 7 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, then trash the top 7 cards of their security stack. For each card this effect deleted, reduce the number of security cards trashed by 1. Why? Like, I love the thematic, like 777. I think that's hilarious because 7 has traditionally in whatever, if you're superstitious or like if you believe in stuff like that, 7 has always been a lucky number. And ironically, to have it tailored or tied to the evil counterparts or like the demon counterparts in the Digimon card game, I think is hilarious. There's a lot of what is that word? There's a lot of parody with that. I just think this is crazy though. Like 7 security. goodbye recovery decks, and just try like Setcon, goodbye. And you can mix and match, right? Like if your opponent already only has 3, you can pop 4 bodies or tamers and then just delete, trash the top 3 and then swing for game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. Not to mention it's 16k DP. That's a bomb and security. Yeah, this is, what is he even? Is he like a dragon or what? I don't even know what the hell he is, but whatever, man. This is pretty dope. I think it'd be interesting to see like Royal Knights versus 7 Great Demon Lords. Maybe that's something that we could bring to you guys in a video with like the sim or something. Yeah, but this is super interesting. A lot of the 7 Great Demon Lords have on plays and they have on deletions. But I think the main, like the catalyst here is the Lilithmon, because she doesn't necessarily have an on deletion, so you want her to stick to the board. But she can trigger protection by deleting other Demon Lords, which is gonna then keep her on the board, but also trigger your other skills. So on play until the end of your opponent's turn, one of their Digimon gains end of turn delete this Digimon. So on play, target something, they lose it at the end of the turn. And then all turns once per turn, when this Digimon would leave the battle area other than by battle, so bounce, deletion, by deleting 1 level 5 or lower Digimon, prevent it from leaving. By deleting 1 level 5 or lower Digimon, prevent it from leaving. So I wonder, just by that wording, because it doesn't say your Digimon, I wonder if you could target your opponent's board, which if you could, that's kind of crazy. You could dodge deletion by killing one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. That's pretty insane. Opponent's turn, when another Digimon is deleted, trash it to... So you can delete their Digimon. Well, you give them the on deletion at the end of their turn, so that's going to trigger, right? Right before end of turn passes over, end of turn processes take place. They're going to lose their Digimon that you've already chosen from your on play, and then they're going to lose the security. But also, the all turns effect doesn't specify your side of the board, so you could probably delete one of their Digimon to stay protected, which is kind of crazy if that's the case. Let me know in the comments down below if that's how it works. But essentially, if you wanted to delete your Digimon, you have on deletions here that will trigger. When this Digimon would leave the battle area other than by battle, place 1 7 Great Demon Lord trait card from your trash as the bottom Digivolution card of one of your Gate of Deadly Sin. So it's not really essentially an on deletion per se, like texted, but you would kill it with Lilithmon to protect her, and then he would trigger this and then just die essentially. So you're feeding sources to your egg, which is what you want. But yeah, they pretty much have that clause. Like they have, you know, when they leave the battle area, tuck a source underneath your egg from your trash. So I'm pretty sure the process happens where this effect happens first, because it's not a deletion effect, so it doesn't activate in the trash. It activates when it's leaving the field. So Lilithmon will see this card leave the field. This will trigger before hitting trash, so you can't feed itself essentially. So you already have to have targets in the trash for that. Basically, that's how I'm assuming that's how that works. But being able to do that and then just gain advantage off of it is kind of crazy. These are the older Leviamons, so I don't think they have on deletions. They do have trash effects though, so you definitely want them in the trash. And then this is the old Belphemon Rage and Sleep, so they don't have that either. This is your new stuff right down here, right? So this is all the new stuff that's going to go hand in hand with the strategy of getting stuff in the trash, right? And then this chaos mode is just crazy right here. You're on play when digivolving, your opponent may delete one of their Digimon or Tamers. If this effect didn't delete, trash the top card of their security stack and recover 1. That's heat. And then when this Digimon will leave the battle area, by returning 1 Lucemon from this Digivolution card or trash to the bottom of your deck, you may play 1 Lucemon Satan mode or a level 6 7 Great Demon Lord from your trash. So he plays them out. He doesn't really tuck underneath the egg. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see this in action, like on paper. Not on paper. Like on paper, this looks good, but I like to see in action live. And the Sistermon's a nice tech on play, trash something, draw 2. Yeah, so we're probably gonna see this a lot more now that the EX6 is like out and about. So onto our runner-up. We have Leppy with Journey to the West. This is just a Gokumon deck, which is interesting. No champions. No champions. Rookies for the Digivolving and drawing. Why Agumon though? Hold on. Agumon, start of main if you have a red or yellow tamer, get a memory, and then inheritable. Gonna draw one. Okay, I mean, yeah, I guess. Ukamon, obviously, for searching. Yeah, that's fair. But no champion. Oh, this is a Digicross deck. Okay, so this is essentially your champions. Oh, wait a minute. That's interesting because now what I'm seeing here, you can Digicross into your ultimates and then have your aces live. So obviously we already know Valkyrimon Ace is causing havoc in the format. But Ophanimon Ace, Digivolve for 4, Blast Evo, on play when Digivolving by trashing the top, I can't read that. By trashing the top or bottom card of your security stack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 8,000 DP until the end of their turn. Okay. And then all turns, once per turn, when a card is removed from your security stack, if it's your turn, this Digimon gains +1 security for the turn and attack. If it's your opponent's turn, recover 1. That's awesome. So yeah, this Ophanimon Ace is very flexible. If you just Digivolve into it naturally for 4 over one of your ultimates, you're gonna trash a security, neg something 8,000 DP, and then security attack +1, which is great. If you do it defensively, which is also nice, you recover, so you can trade out a security that way. Yeah, that's super nice. Venusmon obviously as a top end is disgusting. The card is super oppressive. And then just good options, right? Crimson Blaze, Fireball, Lightning, Heaven's Judgment. I almost said Lightning Judgment. Heaven's Judgment, yes, fair. And then obviously the boss monster would be Shakamon. On play when Digivolving, Digicross for 2 with 4 sources, so that's -8. So you can hard drop this for 7 with Digicross, okay. On play, all Digimon gain security attack -1 until the end of your opponent's turn, okay. All turns when this Digimon would be deleted, you can return to the hand or deck, okay. You may play 1 Sanzamon, Gokumon, Sagamon, and Hohakaimon from source. Okay, so if you Digicross, you can spit them all back out. And then your turn, change all of your Digimon Sec- to Sec+. Wow. Okay. End of opponent's turn, once per turn, you may place a Digimon with security attack on top of his own security attack. That's kind of nuts. Okay, so that it has bounce removal essentially. Because it's not deleting, it's just placing once per turn, end of opponent's turn. And it just says security attack, so whether it's plus or minus doesn't matter. You just put something to the top of their security stack and they just deal with it later. That's huge. But then this here, change all of your Digimon Sec- to Sec+. So when it comes in, it gives everything Sec-, but on your turn, it switches it to Sec+. So these already have 1 security check as a valid attacking Digimon. Sec- 1 transferring to plus makes them Sec +1, so that's 2 checks. If this hits Valkyrimon when it already has its plus, it's Sec +2, so that's 3 checks. This is interesting, and I like that there's no downside because you're hard slamming it for 7. You're getting a great ability in Sec -1 to control your opponent's board. You're deleting or you're dealing with an opponent's threat by tucking it into their security, but you're also giving yourself some extra heat. That's kind of disgusting. I like that. That's really cool. Is this a vaccine? Yes, it's a vaccine. Let's not talk about vaccine right now. I like this a lot. Leppy's always making these really like original decks, so I shout out to him for the creativity. This is awesome. But yeah, I could totally see just like Digicrossing into your ultimates and acing like crazy. Like that's crazy. That's almost like, I still think Edamon takes the cake because slamming something for 7 and saying deal with me is kind of just the most ballsiest thing you could do in this game. But I really do like the ingenuity here and being able to come up with the fact of Digicrossing to the board to have your aces live. That's really awesome. So yeah, Leppy, I mean, I like this list a lot. No, I'm not going to say I prematurely picked my pick of the week. I still like the Dor-goramon stuff, but this is really awesome too. So shout out to Leppy for second place finish with this very original creation. And then onto our, I really I really just don't want to talk about this deck. On to our, winner, Blue Flare. When I see this right here, 8 Ukamons, when I see this, it's kind of like my heart palpitates a little bit because it's like, like everyone talks about it, like being able to play 4 Ukamons in the deck and not lose any consistency. That's why Numamon is so like, I think hated is a strong word. But that's why everyone talks about Numamon so much, is because it could play 8 Ukamons without losing consistency. So if you could play 8 Ukamons in a deck and not lose consistency, that is crazy because they're so good. Ukamons just gain you so much value. Even though this one Digivolves for 1, it's still gaining you value. As accrued value too, like as the game progresses. So my whole thing with Blue Flare is what it digicrosses into. And yeah, I mean, this Greymon is just a menace. It just gets everything going. And this Blazing Memory Boost has always been a really strong card. People were freaking out because like, it's a 5-cost card. Yeah, but what it does for 5 is really strong. Kind of like Megadeath. Like Megadeath is a 5-costed card, but it's dual color, so you need to have both sources in blue-green. But for what it does for 5 is disgusting. Like, it's just really strong. And then like being able to have just rush on everything is annoying too, because I believe, is it the Decker Gray that gives it? Or is it the Decker Gray? No, he doesn't have Decker Gray. Is it this Metal Gray that gives them rush? Yeah. He gains rush, and then if you digicross 3 of your opponent's Digimon with less or equal sources, you freeze them. It's annoying. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna digicross into this guy for 3 and just freeze your whole board. So it's like playing against Blue Flare, like you can't commit too much to the board. So if you're playing an OTK deck with like 1 stack, you're fine. You just kind of have to build and raising and then promote and kill them in 1 shot. But that's not fair. Like I sound like such a baby. Yeah, it's just annoying to me. Like sometimes this one has armor. Yeah, and this is the one that has armor perks. This one bothers me the most because it's like, okay, Digicross for 4, armor purge, like, and then I'm just gonna hard slam or hard digivolve. You're probably gonna armor purge down to this guy, and then you can just digivolve into this or digivolve. Like, it's so much, like, it's annoying. I don't like it. Obviously this deck was more in the limelight, earlier in the game, BT11, BT12, stuff like that, BT10, stuff like that. But I still think it's a good pick, like if you know what you're doing and you know how you're playing into the meta, especially with the addition of aces. Like, I think it's safe to say, well, maybe not. I mean, because Vikemon is really good, Zudomon is really good, Dor-goramon is meh. So I was gonna say maybe blue has the best ace cards, but I don't think so. I think Mega Gargomon is still really strong. I think Valkyriemon is really strong. Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode Ace is a really strong card, but it's so archetype specific that it's like, okay, I mean, I see it. Yeah, I just don't like Blue Flare. But you can't argue with results. We never argue with results here on these snapshots, right? So shout out to our first place winner with Blue Flare. But I'm gonna tell you guys, like, I definitely don't want to talk about this deck again next week. So let's try and get him dethroned. Nothing personal. Well, it's actually all personal. I just don't like this deck. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the snapshots. Season 3 has been, great for me, especially starting off early. I love seeing all the new cards as they come available into the format, and being able to keep up with these on a weekly basis has been a lot of fun. Just kind of raw reacting to them, rereading some of the effects. And I enjoy getting these out to you guys. So let me know in the comments down below if there's anything specifically you'd like to see different. Shout out to Panzer. I really do like the pick of the week stuff. That's definitely awesome. And I like checking the rankings and stuff like that on a weekly basis also, to see where we're at and what type of progress we're making and seeing who's trending in an upward direction. Yeah, so anyway, like, this is definitely more of give and take between me and you guys, right? Like, it's not as structured as everything else. So feel free to use this as like an open forum to get your thoughts out. If any of the players are watching this, let me know why you make your choices. Let me know why some ratios are the way that they are. But with that being said, we're gonna get on out of here. I hope you guys have been enjoying. Don't forget to participate in the TBL every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find all of the details in the Discord. And I hope you guys have a very safe and happy 4th of July. Whether this video gets out on the day itself or the day after, before our next TBL, I really do hope you guys enjoy the time off with your family from work. And just be safe with them fireworks, because we know what happens to some people, right? I'm going to let you guys get back to it. We'll see you in the next video.